guys. How are you today? Thank you for your patience. You know, I always have something going on that gets in the way. Today, I forgot my washcloth, so I had to rinse it out and get it. So who we got here? Sandy, Denise, Susan, Eleanor. Thank you guys so much for being here. I always appreciate you coming in and spending your time with me. I have some dyes today. I have a kind of a fun idea. I have my coffee. I hope you have your beverage of choice, and we're gonna craft and chat. So, what I've picked out. Let me scoot me in. Um, Hi, Kate. Okay, so we've done so far with this release. I have made these two cards. So this one was a pre-recorded video, and then this one was the last live that we did. We made this cute little shaker. Thank you, Naomi. They'll be back, actually. I think they're coming back July 8th with their lives. So those will be available to you guys again. Though I think they're going to be in the evening. But anyway. Oh, you have your Dr. Pepper Zero. Sounds like a fantastic beverage. So anyway, we made this cute little shaker. And we made this cute little shaker. And so they have a lot of really adorable drinks. And so that's what I have been using. But also in this release, they have these. And I tried to use it with this card. I did use the leaves, but I tried to use the hibiscus because I really, really am a big fan of them. Here, they have the hibiscus, and then they have the, what is this called? Tropical leaves. That's what I thought. So, but we're going to talk about these, and I thought it would be fun to do like a little floral moment. I picked out the banners greetings I've had for a while, and thank you, Carrie. Oh, Mary, I'm glad you could make it. This Summer Shadow is part of this release. This Hello is a little bit older, and then this stencil, the seashell stencil, is actually from, I think, last summer's release. So I just thought that would make kind of like a nice, fun little background. So I'm going to take me down to the corner. Oh. Can you see me? We kind of, my thing lost it for a second, but then it came right back. For me, it did anyway. So let me know if you can't see me. All right. So I need a card. What is this even? I don't even know. Okay. So I need a card. Thank you so much, Denise. So this is going to be our base over here. Hi, Dawn. Girl, did your kit ever come? I felt so terrible about that. I'm never using Ground Advantage again. Let me grab some more paper. Just going to trim this so that we can do some die cutting. Hi, Kim. Oh, okay, Mary, it did cut out for you guys too. I was wondering. Because it did, like for mine, it was like it lost it and then, but it came right back. It was pretty quick. This is 4 1/4. Right? Yeah. Okay. Just trimming. Oh, Denise, you haven't gotten yours yet? Oh, Dawn, for some reason, I thought you had a problem. I don't know why. I thought you did. Oh, yeah, Denise, I know yours. I had a lady, Carla, reach out to me, and I had to fish her email out of my junk folder. But she was like, hey, I still don't have mine, but hers is set to be delivered today. I have never in my life thought that it would take almost 2 weeks to have those delivered. Very frustrating for you and me. Okay, so I need one A2 size to do our background stenciling here. And then here, so here's my idea. Little Rabbit Designs. That's adorable little name. But please tell me what your name is so I know what to call you. Oh, Melissa, you don't have yours either. Guys, I'm so sorry. I feel terrible. So my idea here is to compare cutting our coloring our die cuts. What am I going to pick? I think I'm going to do my hibiscus in pink. So we're going to compare. Yeah, we are. We're going to have a complementary color moment is what we're going to do. I need some of these. Is compare coloring on colored cardstock, like our die cuts on colored cardstock versus coloring them on white cardstock. That's the game plan so that we can see. I had a card get to Vermont faster than another one got to Pigeon Forge. No rhyme or reason. Yeah, I want to support the like USPS. But dude, I don't know how I'm going to keep using them if we keep having problems. Because like, very frustrating. Okay, so we're going to set this aside. We're going to do our die cutting. So we're going to Paulina set up the sets so that there's 3 in here, and like honestly I'm good with that because I think that we can create a nice arrangement with 3 flowers working in odds. You know how I do like to work in odds. So I think I'm gonna go only with 1 on the white, and then we'll do 2 out of the colored cardstock and then maybe we'll flip it for the other one. Okay. And then these are the centers. So maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll just switch them around. We'll do the centers, the big one out of pink, and then we'll do the smaller ones out of white. Are you guys more likely to do your die cuts out of colored cardstock or out of a white cardstock? Just curious. And then I'm going to do the centers here out of white because this is like next to no coloring. I think I'm going to need another green though. Because I would like to do a lighter and a darker, or maybe a teal. Maybe a teal, like a dewdrops. Is that going to be too close to my other card? No, I don't think so. All right, we're going to do a teal as well. Okay, let's take these bad boys down. Okay, hold on. I got to back up because I missed a question. Okay, Carrie, does the weight of the colored cardstock or brand matter for ink blending or coloring? I do think it does matter to some degree. So if you have like, and I'm only using this one because I have personal experience with it, like the Recollections paper from Michaels is pretty thin. So that's not going to be something that you're going to be too terribly successful coloring on because alcohol markers blend in the fibers of the paper. So if there isn't enough fibers in the paper, like if it just soaks right through, then it's not going to blend well. The other thing that weight matters for, like when you're die cutting, is the like how flimsy your die cuts are. But it doesn't have to be like crazy It doesn't have to be like crazy thick with the poundage for die cuts. Altenews paper. This is Spellbinders. This is Spellbinders. This is Altenew. Altenews are all different weight, and it tells you like right on the paper package that like what their weights are. And so that one, like, I don't, for ink blending, I don't think it matters at all, truthfully. It's just really kind of the coloring and then how sturdy you want your cards to be. Like I would not recommend doing like a shaker card with like a flimsy weight cardstock. We're doing the tropical. So, okay. Hi, everyone. Summer's busy time for this rancher farmer's wife. Hope everyone is well. Love the die set. Hi, Christy. I can only imagine how busy you are this time of year. Susan, you mostly ruined me. I mostly use white and color. No, well, you're learning a skill, though, my girl. That's important. Dawn, depends on what you're making. Melissa is white. I always used color until I watched you. Now both. I love that. I mostly do color, but I'm trying white now with ink blending. Oh, I like that a lot. I have had to put my handmade cards in mailers that are waterproof and tear-proof envelopes because USPS keeps tearing them up. Yeah, I get that. So you guys like to use both colored cardstock. Hi, Jana. So here's how I ended up, which if you guys have been around before, then you know you've heard this before. I'm doing the palms out of this teal. There's 2 palms in here. And I think, because I'm not sure what I'm going to want to use. So I think I'm also going to do the Monstera. I was like my crafty budget only allowed for so many things. And I really, really wanted to be able to like buy new, well, at the time dyes weren't really a thing because I'm old and I've been doing this a long time. But like I really wanted to be able to buy new stamps. So I didn't spend the money on like colored cardstock. I just colored it with ink blending, or once I learned how to color with my alcohol markers, then I colored it with my alcohol markers. Because I just invested in my distress inks, and then that's what I colored everything with. Literally everything. I use the colored cardstock for the bases. That's nice. Okay, Cheryl. Oh, good. Cheryl, you caught another live. Yay. All right. So now we have all of our die cuts. My desk is still, because I did not make anything yesterday. I did put up a video. That's a video from another, where is it? Another live we did. Look at this honker card. We did a little storybook illustration. So that video is up on my channel. I put that up yesterday, but I didn't actually make anything. And so if you guys took my summer scenes class this weekend, you will know that I still have elements. I still have elements all over my desk because I haven't cleaned up from that yet either. All right, let's die cut. Oh, it just occurred to me that I didn't put any of the leaves on white. I need to switch that up. So let's just snag one of these, because how are we going to compare them if we don't cut any of them out of that? Guys, what am I doing? All right. That's the whole point of what we're doing. Well, it's not. I mean, we're really here just to make stuff. Do we always have to be learning something? I don't know. I don't know that we do. I like to teach things, but sometimes I just like making a pretty card. Okay. That card is great. I love how you layered the dragonfly. Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. It was an amazing class. Oh, Susan, you're too kind to me. Susan's always cheerleading me. All right. Let's get these in there. I should have put on lotion before I came on here. I got some dry hands. right. Oh, did you see him? He just flew right over there. Boop. Our little leaves. These came out pretty easy. No real issues there. These ones want to give me a hard time. And I just painted my nails, so I'm not going to be scraping them off there. I will be getting some tools in order to get them off. Does anybody else feel like that? Like trying to get dyes off of your cutting plates tears up your nail polish? Because it does mine. Oh, Karen, thank you. All right. So now I'm going to slide this through here so I can kind of do a two for one, because you guys know I don't love spending a lot of time with the die cutting. I do have a Empress, but it's so cumbersome to put up here. So I just haven't done that. All right, so now we have our little teal. We're going to have one of each so that we can really compare them and see, not just in the flower, but in the leaves as well. And then of course we're going to bring them all together. I'm always learning something from your videos on your ink blending. Oh, good, Kim. I'm glad. I cut my nails, so no polish. I can't stand having long nails. To each their own. Or it marks the way. Yes, mine does do that, especially in the winter. In the winter, I have a tendency to wear like darker colors, and I will be trying to like get something up, and I will streak my nail polish right across my white cardstock. Today we have on like a hot pink. What is this called? Va Va Voom. It's a summer color. I got to take advantage of summer colors when I can. All right. Kelly, I told you years ago you could be a hand model because you have absolutely beautiful hands. It was true back then. It's still true today. Mary, you are so kind. You are so kind. All right. Time for coffee sips. Hi, Tina. No worries. I was late and it's my own life. Okay. So now we have all of our die cuts here. We have our white and our colored. I am going to do the stenciling real quick for the background. So I'm not doing anything super fancy because I want my focal point to be what your eye is drawn to, but I don't want the background to be like boring either. So I'm going to do a tone on tone. So we're going to do some ink blending in like this tealish blue. And then we're going to do the stencil right on top of that. Yes. Okay. So we're just putting down the base layer. This is Salvage Patina. I'm just going to do like a little gradient moment. You could also do like a halo where it's lighter in the center. That would also be good. But the reason I'm not doing the halo is because I know that my design is going to be focused in the center. And so I still want to be able to see some of those lighter tones. So the gradient is going to work better for me. You know what? Let's do a diagonal, because that's a nice way to add a little bit of interest that like you don't see all the time. So for my lightest color, the whole thing gets a nice coat. And then I'm going to switch this around. Boop, boop. When I stenciled my background, I like to blend lightly. That is an excellent way to put down very even coverage, Kim. Great way to do that. I am impatient and I like to build up a lot of dark color. So that is why I use these little blender buddies from Trinity, because they put down a lot of color in a short period of time. Because I am the most impatient. Okay. So I am going to do darker down here, lighter up here. I'm going to go to diagonal like this. So my next color is Salty Ocean. And I like to blend from right to left, probably because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to bring this up. This is my Salty Ocean. I'm going to bring this up a little more than halfway. And remember, we're starting off of the paper. We're bringing our circles onto the paper. We're not pushing. We're being light-handed. Okay, and then Mermaid Lagoon. Okay, and then again, going to go over that Salty Ocean. This time I'm going about a little less than halfway. Now, about halfway. I'm going where our tips there, I'm going up to like there. And it doesn't have to be perfection, because our stenciling will kind of help cover up any of our boo-boos. Okay. And then last but not least, the Uncharted Mariner. Oh, Paulina, thanks so much for popping in. I know you said you were busy today. I'm so glad that you were able to visit. So Paulina, right there, and it says Pretty Pink Posh, so I don't have to tell you, she owns Pretty Pink Posh. And she is the reason we have all of these wonderful designs to work with. Okay, so now once I get out to my darkest, then I like to reverse and go in the opposite direction. So now we're going to go back to our Mermaid Lagoon. We're going to go right over that Uncharted Mariner and extend it out. This is going to help really give us a nice, flawless blend. There we go. Had nothing but heavy showers today, so that's typical kids' first day of summer holidays and it rains. Oh, that is a bummer. We're finally getting some warm weather. It was cold for like 2 or 3 weeks. So with the Salty Ocean, we're going over the other ones. And again, just bringing that up and extending it out. So yesterday was pretty hot. We had a heat advisory. Today, it's 92. So also pretty warm. Okay. And then lastly, our Salvage Patina. No rain, just super humid and hot. So this one, we're going to go over the same ink blending. And then you can make a choice whether or not you want it to be lighter. If you want your corner to be lighter, then you don't have to put a second layer on there. You could just let it do its own thing. Or if you do want it to be a little bit darker, then you would come in. I would come in from the corner, because where you bring it on is kind of where you get the heaviest concentration of color. Okay. Oh, look, I love how much love Pretty Pink Posh is getting in the comments. They are wonderful. I do love their products. All right, so now we have a really smooth gradient, and we're going to work on our stenciling. Dry that down. Okay, so like I said before, this stencil, why do you double up on your blending? To make it less splotchy, Denise. A lot of times it is, if you don't do it twice, you have a lot of splotches, and we don't love that. We don't love a splotchy ink blend. So this one, this seashell, is actually from last year's release, and it is a little bit of a finer one. So I am going to use a sticky mat, but I'm also going to use some pixie spray. So this is just a light tack repositionable spray, and you shake it up And then I am gonna, I don't have a box, but I'm just gonna hold it over my garbage can and just lightly kind of spray it. Okay. She had a question and I missed it. Kim, there it is. Which ink pads do you prefer? We were expecting 100 degrees here in Southern Virginia Friday. Oof, girl. Which ink pads? I use my Distress inks for pretty much everything. I find that they are the best investment. They give me great color. I'm able to build them up, and I am able to do a ton of techniques with them. So, like anything that's going to give me the most bang for my buck, I'm here for. I've had them for probably 10 years. All right, I'm going in and I am just lightly spraying right over top of it. I also sprayed my hand because I was holding it. All right. And it doesn't really, like, to me, it doesn't really smell, but if you, hi, Lori, if that bothers you, you could always like spray it outside. I obviously don't have a choice. Oh, it's dinner time in Ireland. That's okay. Don't apologize for being late. I'm glad you could pop in. You have dinner and a show. All right. So we do want to make sure that we give this a minute to dry. And then I can put this on my little craft mat, on my little sticky mat. And this also, this kind of, what is this? This kind of gradient kind of mimics like the flow of the water, the flow of the ocean. So that's going to help also contribute to our summery kind of vibe. Okay. So now I'm just checking it to make sure that it's dry. And then I'm going to put this on. Oh, look, I have a fuzzy. I can see it. Must have been from the last time I cleaned it. Okay. Because I did use this. I used this for a beach card last year. Oh, see, it's crooked. I put it on crooked. I can see down here that I have it's blocking it. There we go. Because I want to make sure this border isn't on any of the card. I want to make sure it's all seashells. Isn't it so pretty? All right. Putting that on there. And now we're going to do the same thing that we just did, but we're only going to do it one time. So I'm going to start with my darkest color. And the reason I'm starting with my darkest color is because then when I'm putting on my lighter colors, it will pick up the color that's sitting on top of the stencil and help them to blend a little bit more completely. Okay, so Uncharted Mariner. You are definitely the queen of ink blending panels. Oh, you're so kind. All right, so here's our Uncharted Mariner. And I'm really just kind of sticking to the same area that I put it down in the background, maybe extending it slightly up, but I definitely want the darkest part to be down there. So if you need to like kind of tap it off, that's fine, to make sure that you don't pull up too much ink on there. And then we can move on to the next one, which for us is Mermaid Lagoon. Oh, Roberta, thank God. These kits are the bane of my existence right now, giving me such a hard time, and I feel so terrible you guys didn't have them for class. Thankfully, replays available indefinitely. And then, of course, if you have any questions, just let me know. All right. So Mermaid Lagoon, and then Salty Ocean. Okay. And then last but not least is the Salvage Patina. And for this one, I'm going to come in. Oh, look at, see, it wasn't stuck. That was my own fault. I should have been better about pressing it down. Okay. We're going to bring it in from the edge there to make sure we get a little bit of darker color so that it shows up since it is so light. Okay. So now I highly recommend that when you're doing anything like this that you kind of check it to see before you remove it. And it's nice and light, which is, remember what I'm going for. We're doing the tone on tone for a reason. And that is so that it's nice and subtle. I think it's beautiful. I'm really happy with the way that it looks. So I am going to go ahead and remove it. Oh, bye, Kim. Thanks for stopping in. All right. There we go. And then I'm going to clean this up. It just wipes up nice and easy. That's the other thing about Distress Inks. It's nice. They typically don't stain. Okay. And then now here is our panel. I'm just going to set this off to the side until we're ready to start building our card. Now, let's look at our elements. Hi, Julie. I'm going to pair them with their friends. Reverse, reverse. There we go. These ones we're not doing the comparison for because they're too tiny. Flowers, flowers, flowers. These ones are all the same, so I didn't cut different sizes out of them. And then we have our green leaves. And these are the flower centers. So that's all the elements that we have going on. I am going to grab up some colors. I'm going to do my hibiscus like a hot pink. I think we're going to go 4, 6, 9. I think we're going to do them kind of. Where is my 66, 69? Okay. So we're going to do those that. I'm going to mute you for 1 second so I can blow my nose because it won't stop. Hi, Brandon. All right. So there's that. Oh, hi Dana. That's okay. We made the background. That's what we've missed. We made the background. And then we die cut out of our white and our colored. We are comparing coloring on white cardstock to coloring on colored cardstock. That is our goal today. All right. So the lighter combination, I think, for this and a darker combination for this. I don't think I'll use the RV02, but I will pull it out just in case. All right, and then the centers, we're going to do our yellow. $24.99 for the centers. For the greenery here, 17 and 3. But where did I put it? I got my little bin here. There it is. It's just buried. Okay. Hi, Panda. I always find it amazing how she can just add a little bit of color to the colored cardstock and make such a drastic difference. Well, thank you, Denise. All right. So then for the teal, I have like a true teal. I'm also going to pull out BG99, if I can find it, because I do like to make them a smidge darker sometimes. A B99, because I do like to make them a smidge darker. And then I think that should be it. I think that's all we need for our... So you know what? Instead of doing these yellow, I'm going to do them orange, and then that'll give us a double complement. And that is like an easy recipe for making sure that our colors look nice. So I'm going to go, instead of yellow, I'm going to go orange. So if you're asking yourself what a double complement is, it is 2 sets of complementary colors, which just means they're across from each other on the color wheel. So here, red orange is across from teal, and pink is across from green. So that is a double complement, which means all of our colors will look really, really nice to each other. My best friend who lived in Chardon is saying you guys have our Florida weather. Mary, it is hot. It is hot, hot. I'm not complaining though. I'd rather have hot, hot than cold, cold. Where's the shell stencil from? Everything is from Pretty Pink Posh. All of the products we're using today are from Pretty Pink Posh. I have not linked everything in the thing below, but I will. And then also I have a different video. Don't mind me. I like to sit crisscross applesauce when I color. I have another video where I use that shell stencil, and I will link that at the end. Okay, so I'm going to scoot these over so that we can zoom in here and that we can really see the coloring. All right, zoom, zoom. I'm just going to scoot this out. Oh, I might have zoomed in. I might have zoomed too much. All right. I could do without the humidity. Our heat index is 105. Yeah, you can tell from the likes of my naturally curly hair that it is also very humid here. Okay. So let's start with the leaves. We'll work left to right. So I'm going to do one with the lighter combination and one with the darker combination. So I'm going to do the Monstera first, and I'll do that with the lighter combination. So this is going to be a BG11, a BG45, and a BG49. All right. So I'm going to start with my darkest color, and then see where this kind of dips in. I'm going to go right up the center here. That's going to, adding the shading in the center helps it to look like it's a little bit more rounded because the middle is darker. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to just add like a little triangle of color where the leaves are dipping in. I am angling my little triangle toward the middle. I'm angling them like this, like little V's. Then I'm also going to take my darkest color and I'm going to go around the bottom part of the leaf. Here, I'm just going to kind of take it up each of the sides, and then I'll go around the bottom part down here. Okay, so that's what we look like so far. I'm going to do the same thing over here, up the center. My little angled triangles. And then around the bottom. Up the side, around the bottoms over here. Okay. Then the BG45, right over that BG49. Extend it up. When we're coloring, we're going right over that, and then also on the triangle. When we're coloring with a 3-color blend, typically what we're going to see the most of is our mid-tone. So by the time you get done coloring with your mid-tone, you should only have just small little areas of white that you're going to fill in with your highlight color. Get that little triangle and then back around this side. Okay. "58, at least you can be active with humidity 103. 58. Poof. I'm going to pass on that. Okay. Same thing over here. Take that all the way up. And even though it's not white, we're still leaving that area for our highlight color. Okay. Oh, well, is it Mocha? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so BG11. So now we're going to go over and just kind of flick out from the center, fill in that white area. We want to make sure we're going over that BG45 so that we can get everything to blend really nicely together. Same thing here. I need to refill this marker, I think. And then right over there. So then that is leaf 1 complete. Now see how this looks very similar to this already? Because we already have that lighter color. They already look pretty similar, but we are going to use the BG11 here to go over and blend that out as well. Now you could, if you wanted to, leave like a sliver of the actual cardstock color. Oh, see, look at it's dry. It's very dry. Do I have another one in here? Some of them I have doubles of. Nope, that one's dry too. Okay, I need to refill it. It just is what it is. But nonetheless. So this one, we'll talk about this while I grab my refill. This one has a little bit more contrast once we put on all 3 colors because it has that white base and we're able to control our shading. But this one isn't too terribly far off. It has a little bit less dimension only because, let me grab this. Oh, that's a brand new one. There it is. Because the moisture on the paper, but even then, we're playing with pretty pink pots, Julie. This one has a little bit more contrast. This one, as the alcohol ink kind of evaporates, it will become a little bit lighter, but it's not going to be as light as this one. So, do I think that the difference is significant enough that if you're still learning, that I would make like a big deal about it? No, I wouldn't. Because I do think the coloring on color cardstock is a little less intimidating, I guess. It's a little less intimidating for beginner colorists. And it also, if you're in a rush, which sometimes we are, let's be honest, it does go faster. So if you want kind of more control over your shadows, I would stick with white cardstock. But if you are like, hey, I'm in a hurry, or hey, I'm scared of some darker color, you could absolutely use the colored cardstock. I decided to refill the BG45 too, since we have another one to go. Just to be sure, I'm sure. Okay. All right, so let me stick this in here. All right. And then I am going to just go back over this because this marker, this poor little guy was running out at the time. Okay, this is just that BG11 to go right over there. Okay. All right. So there is a difference, but significant enough. That's me, beginner colorist. So let's look at now some of the other options. So this one, I'm going to use the darker color combination. So I am going to leave out the BG11 and I'm going to add in the B99. In my 20s, I worshiped the sun layout. Made sure I had at least 2 weeks in the sun every year. Now I'm hiding from the sun and always in the shade. Yeah, I think all of us when we were younger, because we didn't really know back then. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really tell us. All right. I used to love doing acrylics, watercolor, and pencil, but it was years ago. Well, Denise, that's okay. All right, so now for these, I'm going to get the bottoms and then I'm going to pull them in. So I'm using just the side and then I'm kind of extending them in. This is going to help give them a ton of dimension. Without really too much work. And then the same thing with the, I just picked one side of the stem there. Couldn't think of the word. And stem still might not even be it. That one I got a little heavy-handed. I'm not overly concerned about it. Okay. So now I'm also going to, hi Melissa. I'm also going to kind of flick out from the center here. I'm not trying to meet those blue lines. I'm kind of trying to go in between them. So my goal is to flick in between the blue lines that I've already put down. Okay. Tissue. Because why wouldn't my nose be acting up on a day I was going to do a live? Okay. All right, so now we're going to do the BG49, which remember, for these ones was our darkest color. Now it's our mid-tone. We're going to fill in this stem. And when you're bringing in colors from other families, like we're doing with the navy here, it's extremely important to make sure you completely go over that color because that's how you're going to make it a darker teal instead of being a navy blue. So here we're going over the navy and extending it out slightly. This is our mid-tone. This is what we're going to see the most of. But we are still wanting to leave that sliver of our lightest color as our highlight. Did you do lemon juice in your hair to bleach it out? Yeah, didn't we all do that? Well, once I get a little bit older, then Sun-In was available. But my grandmother used to, God, she was great. She had a little family trick for everything. She used to put lemon in my hair to make it lighter. And then my middle sister, Kim, was dark. Her hair is a dark brown. So she would wash her hair with vinegar to bring out its natural highlights, which honestly were like red. I don't think Kim wanted red hair, but Graham thought it was pretty, so she did it. All right. So now the last color is the BG45. And then if I want to keep this kind of nice and dark, so I'm going to actually come in from the outside edge and flick inward so that the center remains nice and dark. And I'm only adding the highlight kind of along the individual palms. Okay, that's the white one. Flicking that in there. Okay, so that's those two there. Oh, hi, Carrie. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. So now I'm trying to scroll up here. I just got the chapter in Charm Kit last week. Now to find time to watch Kelly's video and do the class. Oh, Melissa, good. It was a fun one. Okay, so now you can see just like here, this is the lighter version of the teal. This is the darker version of the teal. That the highlights are brighter on the white. The overall look is a little bit darker on the colored cardstock. Okay, so now we're done with those. And so we don't cross-contaminate. I'm going to clean this up. I still, since I own a pool, yesterday was leg day. It was my leg workout, and I was cooked, man. My leg workout got me. And then afterward, I was trying to get my steps in, which was crazy. I should never have done that. So about, I don't know, a quarter of a mile in, I was like, I'm going back home. I'll just get my workout in the pool. And then as soon as I got into the pool, I just like collapsed. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to work out in here either. I just took my little floaty and floated around. It was glorious. All right, this way. I wish my mom were still alive. She was an avid reader and would love the cards from the chapter in Charm Kit. Same, Melissa. My mother instilled a love of reading into all of us. At least it's finally hot enough now in Ohio to go swimming. That's true. All right, so now here's the color combinations we've picked out for these leaves. These are the leaves that are with the hibiscus. Okay. So we're going to do that. Let me get a sip of coffee. All right. So we're going to give these guys a little bit of shape as well. We're going to start with our YG67. Same thing. We're going to go right up the middle. And then we're going to do our little triangles as well, but they're going to be smaller. So we're just going to use the tip of the marker, and we're just going to bring in our little triangles. Again, we're angling them with the shape of the leaf. Tissue. Water aerobics is so much easier on the body than regular aerobics. I agree. Getting in that pool yesterday was amazing. Was so fantastic after my leg workout, because there's a lot of things that I don't love about working out. And I pretty much I'm working out because of my Hashimoto's, and I need to maintain my weight loss until, I can get back down to where I was previously. But also for like mobility, and they've linked several different things to like muscle loss and all like cognitive ability. So I'm like trying to make sure I'm going to be mobile for my grandkids and stuff, but I hate lunges. I would rather, I would rather eat a soup sandwich. That's what I'm going to say. That's the nice version of what I've got, because I hate them so much. Okay. Now, mid-tone. Back through the middle. Right over our little triangles. And this time, we're going to take them all the way in. Take them all the way in. Remember, we're only leaving a little sliver of white as our highlight color. We're making them stripedy. I am going to do a little flicking out from this inside edge, like from the middle, so that the highlights is really on the edges. I do water aerobics. Susan, the best exercise I found to loosen my joints was horse riding. I loved it. Green hair in the summer and blisters from jelly shoes. I still sometimes have green hair. Our pool sometimes gets high copper. So I tell my kid all the time, because he has highlights for summer. He likes to get them every summer. I tell him to put the leave-in conditioner in his hair so it doesn't turn his highlights green. But sometimes I'm not the greatest about it, because typically when I get in there, like I'm not dunking myself, but every once in a while I start playing with the kids and then my hair gets wet. Okay. Water treadmill. I don't even know what a water treadmill is, Roberta. I think I'm going to have to refill this one as well. Yeah, that's getting a little sad. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me get that as well. Oh, my Lord. Will the Lord grant me a reprieve and only make me sneeze twice, or will I sneeze 7 more times? When you are coloring die cuts, do you prefer colored cardstock or white cardstock, or both? It depends on what I'm doing. If it's something that I really want a lot of control over, I'm always going to say white. Oh, I overfilled it. Can you see it? You probably can't. It's going to drip. We're going to use this to suck it up. So now, because I know I overfilled it, I am going to leave the back cap off. Thank you. It depends on what I'm doing. If I am doing something where like the shadows and like the control over the highlights and the lowlights are going to be something that's really important to me, then I will probably use white. If it's something that I'm like, hey, I forgot about this card. All right, so now same thing that we did before. I'm going to come in from the edge and just follow this down its shape to fill it in. And that's going to give us a lot of shape and dimension there. I frequently, even though I make cards for a living, sometimes when I actually need a card, it sneaks up on me. And sometimes I'm in a rush. And so when that happens, a lot of times I will use colored cardstock as like a little cheat. Okay. Okay. So now there's those 3. We're going to color these 3. Oh, thank you, Melissa. My kids use tea tree and mint to keep the bugs away, but I use the K18 range and my hair has never been healthier. Tina, I actually use the K18 hair mask. I don't use the range, but I do use the hair mask when I get out of the shower. And that was recommended to me by my hairdresser, which I'm actually due to go tomorrow. What's tomorrow? No. Thursday? I'm due to go back, y'all. It is time to get refreshed. She'll probably tell me the bottom of my hair is green because I have been in the pool a lot. Now that it's a little bit warmer. Okay. And then flick out from the center. There we go. Right through the middle here. Triangles. Flick out. Triangles. Flick out. I really wish. Bye, Brandon. My nose would stop running. Okay. And now the lightest color. This does go by pretty fast once you get going with your coloring. I know there's a lot of people who are like, coloring takes too long. And when it comes to colored pencils, I wholeheartedly agree. It takes me forever to do colored pencils, but I typically don't use them a lot, so I'm not really well versed in them. Okay. Yeah, I do like the, Tina, you're right. I do like the hair mask. All right, let's clean this up. And then we're going to go into the, all right. And we decided to go with the orange so that we would have a natural complement. Let me get up here and show these. Okay, so starting with the YR09, I'm going to right away, I'm going to add a little shading underneath the stamen. I'm going to pull it down and then kind of flick it back up because this is where it's going to meet the flower. And what do we know? We add shading where two things meet. Then here, this is just kind of like a blobby shape. So hi Shelly. So we're going to give it a little bit more shape by Dawn so it doesn't look quite so blobby. So we're just going to find some areas that look like they could be round, and we're just going to do some little C shapes. Okay. You don't have to do everyone the same. We're just going to do a couple little C shapes. Then we're going to go in. I'm going to fill in the whole stamen with my mid-tone. Where did they're one on top of the other. That's what happened. I'm like, where did it go? Okay. And then we're going to go around what we just put down. We are leaving white space for our highlight. That's what's going to help give us dimension. Okay. And then, the lightest color, we're going to fill that in. I'm just kind of going to poke it. And now our little blobby shapes look like a little stamen. Okay. Maybe we'll do the sentiment orange. All right. Now, the hibiscus. So I'm going to do, these are going to be my dark combination. These are going to be my light. So I am going to go six, four. Okay, this is what I'm going to go with. I don't think we're even going to be able to see this on the colored cardstock, but I do think we'll be able to see it on the white. So that's why I'm including it. All right. So we already know that this is going to be, this is where it's going to meet its center, right? This is the center. So we're going to extend out our darkest color from the center. We're just flicking. I like to flick away from myself, and we're not getting crazy. You know, we're not taking it all the way up the flower. We're just kind of getting the bottom fourth, kind of extending it up. Maybe the bottom half. Okay. I agree, Denise. They could be used as snowflakes. All right. So then, in order to give the petals some shape, we're going to do our triangles that we've been doing on the leaves. We're going to do them here where our petals dip in. So you can just do like a little swipe and then a triangle. Okay. Some are skinny, some are fat. It doesn't matter. We're just putting in triangles. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. This one's a little bit smaller, so I do want to keep that in mind for doing the flicking up from the middle, because we want to make sure that we're not covering up the whole petal. And then again, triangles. Okay. Please remember each time how far we're flicking, because our sizes are changing. Okay. Triangle, triangle. Oh, hi, Jennifer. I didn't even know you were in here. Don't forget to hit the like button. Denise, you're so kind. Okay. Triangle, triangle. There we go. Now, we're going to go in with the RV06. Go right over our little triangles and right over our little flickings. And flick out just past those. The pinks and colors are sometimes challenging because the lighter colors do bring up the darkers quite a bit. But if you know that about them, then you can adjust accordingly. Triangles. And that one. I never colored cards. I hated how flat it looked. Yeah, I do. That's how I started coloring my die cuts, because I am not a die cut. Like, I was never a die cut fan, because everybody was like, oh, just color them on a colored cardstock, and they're, you know, they're fast and they're easy. And I'm like, but I'm not after fast and easy. Like, I'm after my cards looking a specific way. I like the process of creating. So I'm not necessarily always looking for something that's going to cut down on my amount of time for creating, but I also understand that not everybody is like that. Kelly, adjust your camera. What is... Oh, that's the internet. That is not the camera. Let me see if I wait it. I'll wait a minute. Let me see if it gets any better. Let me know if it gets any better. Hi, Melissa. Okay. So now we're going to go in with the 4. We're going to go right over. Now, by this point, our triangles are meeting. So we're just going to go right over our triangle. And we're going to leave just those little sections in between for our highlight color. Oh, Tina, thank you. I love that little caterpillar card. I thought it was super cute. But I also love a scene. I know not everybody loves a scene, but I do love a scene. Okay. So that's that one. I think it's these florals that you're seeing that are probably slightly blurry. But it's because you can't see the detail on them. Like, it's because of the hot pink. They're not actually blurry. It's just making it look like that. Okay. So sometimes when you're with the colored cardstock, like this RVO2, I told you I don't even think we're going to be able to see it. That the point of it is not necessarily to put down that particular color. Sometimes the point of the lightest color is just to blend it into the cardstock. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad it fixed it. I'm sorry that it's being difficult. And then, so this is the lightest color. And especially with the pinks, we want to come in from the outside edge because this will bleach out those darker pinks in a minute. Like, it bleaches them out quick. So we're just making sure we're coming in from the outside edge. I think they're cute. Look how ruffly they look. Oh, my whole coloring area is, well, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully Roberta going out and come back and fix it for you like it did for Denise. Okay. There we go. So those are the colored ones. And then these are the ones with the white. And you can really see, because of the white underneath, like how much it bleaches out that color. So that's why, like for this one, for sure, I always come from the outside edge in, unless I'm trying specifically to lighten up my an area that I've colored. Okay. I think this is probably the one where you can see the most significant difference in the coloring, because the highlights are so much brighter on here. But thank you, Shelly. I can't catch a break with the allergies. So like this one, I do think the difference is pretty significant. But again, this one's, if you never saw this one, this would be great, fine, more than acceptable. This one though does have a little bit more dimension because it has the more contrast. Basically, it has the different depth of color. All right. So now this one is going to be our darker combination. And that is going to be the 6, the 9, and then we're adding in the RV69. So nice and dark. This is going to give us contrast in our flower as well. This we're not gonna be crazy with, okay? Because there's not a lot of real estate. So we're just going in from the center and flicking out. I don't think there'll be a significant difference between these two because we're not going to be coloring it in a way like we're going to have some dimension, but it's not going to be like super realistic or anything like that. Okay. So even on the whites, we're just leaving a very little bit for that lightest color. We want them to be dark. Okay. And then the lightest one, which is the 6, which isn't really light at all. It's a mid-tone. Okay. We're just getting the tippy tips of each one of those sections. Tip, 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 tips. So I wouldn't say that there's a significant difference between those at all, even though these are white and this is pink, because we're not looking for the lightest highlight color. These are meant to be darker. I don't think that it really matters too much at all in those scenarios. Okay. So I do think let me zoom out here. Let me grab this so I can see what we're working with, so I can figure out what color we're going to do our sentiments. Okay. Let me put the flowers together first. That would be smart, I think. This one is the big one. I have been doing colored cardstock and shading with Copic versus white and coloring them. Oh, Amy, I'm sorry. These kits. I was so mad when that investigator from the post office was like, yeah, they tell us to push it, but really only 80% of people get their kits in the 2 to 3 days. Most people, it takes 7 to 10. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's the worst. All right. So that one's down there in the center. And then I'm going to add the stamen. Look at how cute that is. He's a fancy little hibiscus. Exactly, Susan. Okay. And then this is the middle. The USPS ground lost a medical test. So Hubby and I had to do it again yesterday. Oh my gosh, I'd be infuriated. I was infuriated and mine wasn't even medical. Yeah, I won't be using ground again. USPS will be lucky if I use them again, truthfully, after this debacle. I think it was Roberta who mentioned pirate ship, and then there was another one. What was it? UPS maybe. So we're looking into those. What are you guys talking about? Oh, for the I had a kit. I had a class that had a kit that you could buy, and the kits. It's been almost 2 weeks, and not everybody has their kits yet, and the class has already happened. So, all right. So now the flowers are together. Now, so Denise, that's so funny. I had a lady who ordered hers who lived in Canton, and she didn't get hers until the day before class. Ugh. All right. Working in threes. We have a visual triangle. Okay, and then let me kind of tuck in some of these guys. Maybe I do it like that and then put the flower on top of there. Okay. I don't know if we're going to use the monsteras or not. We'll come back to that. Let's tuck in our greenery. Okay. I do like the green, a considerable amount. Let's do another one here, and then maybe we'll do one here. I don't like this as much. Let me tuck it over there. We might be using the monsteras. We'll have to see. Let me snag this out of there. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Giving me a hard time. All right. Oh, yeah. So somebody did say that it was like theirs was delayed because of the soccer game, which is like infuriating. Okay. Do the little monstera over here. That'll help fill up some of that area, and then tuck in a little green guy. Okay, I'm not opposed to this. I'm actually shockingly, I think it's because we have so much of the teal. I'm not loving this with the background. Crazy. All right, so let's look at it just on. Hold on. Let's look at it just on white. Okay. I feel like it's so much brighter on the white. I feel like that's so much more impactful. What do you guys think? I love the seashells though. I know, press and seal. But press and seal doesn't change the aggravation of having to move them around to adjust them. Pull this out of here. Yeah, I feel like the white is doing so much more for this. Cut the center of the seashells out for extra white. That's an excellent idea, but it's a stencil, Denise. Oh, you mean create it like a frame. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, let's try it. Why not? Let me get a rectangle die to create a frame. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Wait. Get that in here. Where are they? She has a really pretty Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Come on, don't be like that. Where are they? It's only because I'm rushed looking for them that I can't find them. Come on. There they are. Okay, she has these. I'm all the way over here. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. So she has these really nice, they're like notched rectangles and notched squares. So maybe we'll try one of these and see. Why don't we do, let me see, let me lay them out. See, this is why, one of the reasons why I love lives, because then we all get to work together. All right, so if we do it like that. So she does have the raised background. What did I just do with those? I set those up there. Where's the other cards we made? Lord have mercy. Are they under here? Yes, they are. So she has, look, but I've already used it twice. Look at, she has the raised background here. So, but I've already used it twice. I've already used it twice. So that's why I was trying to do something different. Okay. When you saw it one time, but when you get to use it, they disappear. That is 100% true. All right. So let's maybe do this and see. Or do we like the square? I think the square might be a hair too big. This is the rectangle. That has my vote so far. This is the square. Oh yeah, see, the square is pretty much edge to edge. And I don't think that's going to be good for us. So rectangle it is. All right. Let's pray about it, people. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like up toward the center, I think. You know, I got to take the time to get it even so that way both pieces are usable. Okay. You make me feel so much better when you lose stuff on your desktop. Well, then, Susan, you should feel pretty good every single time you're here. Every single time. Okay, while we're doing this, I'm going to cut out the sentiments so that way we're not doing it 2 times. Because we're just going to do them out of white. Hard on. Okay. Yeah, because then we could do the hello. Oh, we might have to make a choice between the hello and the summer. Because they're pretty large. Maybe we... Did I leave those out? I think I did. Let me cut out the banner. Because I think instead of using this one, I have the stamp set that has like a little hello sunshine kind of situation in it, and that would be cute. All right. And then, all right. So we don't have to move all of this. I'm just going to cut it on the floor. Oh, I'll have to do them separately. Okay, fine. Okay. So now we got our 2 pieces. So let's see. Here it is. Okay. I'm like, I know I have another piece. All right. So we have this one here with the color on the outside. Or we have the color on the inside. Let's see which one works better for what we have going on here. Okay. I'm doing this one first because I feel like this is probably going to be what I prefer, but we never know until we're in it. And then we did the big leaves. And then we tucked in a little monstera over here. Big monstera over here. We did 2 down here. Okay. 2 card bases are a bonus. Though I don't necessarily know that we have enough elements to fill out 2 cards, but I could probably turn the other one into a second card when I do the replay. Okay, so there's that. I still feel like it doesn't have enough contrast from the background. So now, all right, we're going to do the press and seal, so I don't have to move this around 100 million times. So my press and seal is a little bit jiggity because I lost the little rolly part. I lost it. Okay. I'm just going to tape this down so I don't accidentally pick it up. Use that Ray dye a third time. I might, girl. I might. We'll have to see. All right. So I do need to make sure that this is kind of laid out how I want it. I can see one of my palms is poking out. There we go. Flowers there. I want this to be kind of more over there. This is the part that drives me insane about dies, because I do not love chasing them all over the place to arrange them. That part is most certainly not for me. All right. I want you to be at an angle. Flower. Leaf. Leaf. Tuck in this Monstera. Okay. These need to be further down. Okay. Oh, thanks, Melissa. All right. This flower is supposed to be on top because it's the lighter flower. Okay. Okay, there's that. And then tuck one in over there. I think we could probably tuck one in over here. Nope, I like it better this way. The angle is not right. There we go. Okay. So now I'm pretty sure I'm happy with that arrangement. Okay. So now we take our press and seal. We lay it over top. Okay. We press it down. Please do make sure the sticky side is down. We press it down. Where? If you were in my class this weekend, you know that my wonderful sister recently, here they are, reorganized my little area over here for me, which was very kind of her. But the problem is that I don't know where anything is now. All right, so I'm just burnishing this to the desk to create what we call the hinge method. Okay, So I'm just sticking it on my glass mat. And now I will use it to stick all of my elements to the press and seal over here. Just being careful not to move them. I'm holding it in place with one hand, rubbing it all over. So we can get everything picked up. Then we can test it. Make sure everything is picking up. I don't want this blue piece. So I'm just going to hold that down. And then I can just fold it right over. Okay. Yes, Melissa, that is true. You cannot get it off. Okay. So these are our little pieces of tape just holding our cardstock in place. So now we're going to put this down. And then we're going to flip it back over. So we can see if we like that better. I do think I like that better. But I do think we should maybe trim this so that there is a white border. Can your sister come do mine? She didn't get rid of anything. She just reorganized it. Yeah, she didn't get rid of anything, just reorganized it. Okay, so I do like this one. I am going to trim this down so that we have a white border. Where'd I put my trimmer? It is gone. It's not gone. It's misplaced. Where are you? Where could you possibly have disappeared to? You are a whole paper trimmer. Found it. Okay. So because I'm like old and I've always crafted by myself, it doesn't really bother me to craft by myself because nobody else in my family was crafty. So like nobody else would have been crafting with me anyway. So it doesn't bother me. But it is nice when you have a crafty friend to at least talk to, like about the things that you love. All right. So here we go. Okay. So now let's put this back in place. Their border now. Yeah, I do like that better. It just like lightens it up a little bit. Okay. So I think I'm going to close this back over. We have a little hello down there, the large hello down there. We could also kind of do it in the center. We could do it in the center with no shadow. That might be better. Yeah, my best friend is crafty, but not in like a cart. Like she's crafty in like a sewing way. Okay. Okay, so what if I scoot it over here? No, over here. Okay, that's better. The cute little hello. Oh, down there. No, I like it better up here. Okay. And then we might not even need anything else. We might be able to just do the hello because it's pretty large. I do like a sub-sentiment though. So maybe let me pop this banner out. So these cute little banners, she's got a couple of variations, but you just fold them on their perforation. And then it creates a little 3D banner. Maybe we just do the banner. No hello. Do the banner up here. Banner cattywampus. I think we're just going to go with the hello. I think I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. All right. Let's glue. So this has to get glued first. I'm not going to move the tape until after I get it down. So actually, that's one of the things that I'm looking into with, and maybe this might be something you guys are interested in or not. Obviously, I'll still do the regular live streams. Oh, good. We're in the, well, yeah, everybody, just the hello. I like that. So one of the things that I'm looking into with like doing a membership, is doing like monthly Zooms where we can all get together and we can all see what we're making and we can all chit chat about what we're making. So, and we can just have like a little afternoon of spending time together with other people who get our stuff, and we can ask each other for help and input and all of that. But with this one, like you can only see me, but with Zoom, I'll be able to see you guys too and see what you're working on and what you're coloring. And I think that would be tons of fun. Okay. So now when we do the hinge method, we add adhesive to the pieces that are on the base layer. So whatever is going to go down first, we can add adhesive to. Okay. Like, because we, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us spend our time together, like with the live streams. I want to scoot this over just like the littlest bit so that it's more, there we go. That's better. Okay. Oh, see, Roberta, you do it every Sunday. That is fun. I think we spend a lot of time together, and I think it would be fun to be able to see each other, and like, it doesn't have to be fancy. Like, we could do like pajama day. Kelly Cahoot on Honeybee Stamps used to have like no makeup Monday. Not that I'm pretty much no makeup most days, but okay. So now the trick is getting up the layer that is not glued. You do have to let it sit for a minute so that glue has a second to set. You don't want to lose any of your guys. So now those are all, this one probably needs a little extra glue. Okay, just like this would have been sitting in front. So, because what I'd also like to do with the memberships is to be able to offer, more specific coloring instruction. I might not have let it sit long enough. I do get impatient. I'm very honest about that. I do get impatient. Okay. Now this flower can go down. There's one with Bridget Casey of Altenew on Saturdays. I crafted my jammies all the time. My life has become comfort over fashion. Tina, same. My husband, the three of us were on a walk the other day, and my daughter was walking on her tiptoes, and she was like, I'm pretending I'm wearing high heels. And so I was kind of teasing her, and I was walking next to her on my tiptoes. And my husband was like, bring back the high heels. And I was like, I don't work outside of the house anymore, sir. I will not be bringing back the high heels ever. My feet, but now I don't even think my feet could do it. Because I only wore high heels to work when I was doing case management. And I haven't done that job in 6 years. What's fashion? Exactly. Oh, Shelly, thanks for spending your time. Thank you. Okay. And then the last little flower. So I give Press and Seal a hard time because I feel like it's a big to-do to get it out, even though it's really not. But I do think that it is helpful. My feet might be able to do high heels, but my back sure can't. Dude, it's my calves. My calves are like, girl, we are not built for this anymore. All right. So look, I think she's a pretty girl. All right. So now this, you can just peel it off. Sometimes it does leave a little bit of a residue. But I just get it when I clean up my, I'm bumping stuff. When I clean up my desk. This I'll be able to use for a whole nother card. So maybe I'll use that when I do the, what are we talking about? The edited version. So I like that. And I do think we're going to go with the little hello here. Should we? I'm not 100% married to the hello. Hello down here. I'm gonna finish out this portion of the card. I'm not gonna put a sentiment on it because I'm not 100% positive what I want to do here. Okay, let me. In trainers all the time. I haven't worn heels in years. Okay, so now this is just some clear shimmer. Doop, doop. Okay. And I am going to add, of course, some white gel pen. You guys have some really good ideas. Okay. So here we're going to do highlights on our stamen. It's going to help them kind of pop off. And then here, I'm going to kind of I'm not pressing too hard. I'm just kind of swiping. And that is going to kind of really bring that highlight to the forefront. And I'm going to do it on these ones too, since that was like a little bit more of a, like it was, the highlight's not as obvious on there. I will most assuredly be adding some bling, but I probably won't do it until I figure out what my sentiment's going to be. So I have 2 from her that I had pulled out. Where are they? Did I put it away? One is sea glass. I thought, well, I had it pulled out, and the other one is watermelon. That these ones are over here, and these ones are already in the tray because I use them on this card here. That's so funny because that's okay, Melissa. When I posted this card, I called it a bug's eye view because my whole point was like a bug's life, like everything's oversized. That was like the whole point of the card, and I called it a bug's eye view, and that makes me laugh that you said that. Okay. So Pretty Big Patch has really great bling. I can't, the sea glass one, maybe my sister put it away. It was on my desk before. But anyway, it's more of like a kind of like on the greenish blue side. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to use yet because I don't know what I'm going to do with my sentiment. But I'm going to say for now, I'm going to leave it this way. Okay. Here I am back again. So what was that? Like almost 2 hours. But so what, I want your honest opinion before you run off for the rest of your day. Tell me, which one do you prefer, or do you not think it matters, or are you like more color over convenience or convenience over color? Like it's faster, so I like this one. Do you like the colored cardstock better than the white cardstock? Bye, Christy. Was the sea glass from the class? No, those were from Trinity, and those are faceted fluorite, which is also beautiful. So tell me, what do you think? Is it like, can you even pick out which ones are which? I can pick out which one. Well, I should say I can pick out for most of them, but not all of them. The greens are they're pretty close. So these ones, these are, but this is the white. This is the white. These are the colored. This is obviously the white. So Rebel answer both. So I do think that it's interesting to look at both of them and see, kind of like what your options are. I will be finishing the card, and then I will share the edited replay. Yes, Denise, the white is on top. This one's definitely a lot lighter than the other two that were cut out of the pink cardstock, but that's okay. I think it adds interest to have them both, kind of intermingled in there. But yeah, so anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate your time. I hope that you learned some helpful things about coloring. Yeah, so I'm planning on being more consistent with my live streams. So I hope to see you guys back here soon. And then obviously I will still have the pre-recorded, edited version if the live is not for you. So thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. I appreciate you. And I will, I'm trying to use up all my scraps. So I use both. Roberta, I use mine's totally using up all my scraps as well. 100%. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next one. Okay. Bye.